Hey guys, so this is going to be finally my review of Revival by Stephen King. This book just came out in November. I read it as soon as it came out, so it's been almost a month since I read it, but I'm going to go ahead and do a review of it now. It's taken me a long time, but finally. I'll also be announcing the winner of the giveaway for this copy of Revival at the end of the video, so you should stick around for that. Revival follows the story of a man named Jamie Morton from the early days of his life through the later years, and the relationship he has, the strange encounters he has with a man named Reverend Charlie Jacobs throughout those years. When Jamie was very young, a new minister, Charlie Jacobs, came to his small town with his wife to lead the town's church. The town can't help but notice how young Charlie is, especially young to be the lead minister of their church, but they warm up to him pretty easily, and he kind of takes the town by storm, and they eventually grow to love him. And the very first day that Charlie Jacobs arrives in the town, he meets our young Jamie, whom we read from the first-person perspective of. Jamie takes an immediate liking to Charlie when Charlie plays toy soldiers with him outside of their house. Charlie is obsessed with electricity. He very much believes in a sort of combination of religion and science. He preaches nice and old-fashioned to the town, much to the enjoyment of everyone who lives there, the older people kind of believing that since he's so young he might stray away in his services, but then he uses electricity to build things that entrance the kids at the church, specifically Jamie. And Charlie takes a kind of sort of special liking to Jamie in particular and kind of treats him like a little brother, maybe, kind of cares about him specifically, and it shows. He builds this thing for Jamie's toy soldiers with working electricity. One day, Jamie's brother, who has just begun to learn to play guitar recently, has an accident that renders his voice useless. He can't talk at all. And Charlie does something to help. He uses this electric machine that he built to restore Jamie's brother's voice. And then a sort of series of things happens. There's an accident involving Reverend Jacobs' family, leading him down this new path where he denounces God publicly and is just kind of shunned from the town and eventually leaves. Other things that follow are like Jamie eventually picking up his brother's old guitar as his brother has lost interest and finding that he is really good at it, joining a band, falling in love, all of that kind of stuff. But then we follow Jamie in a kind of spiraling, crazy life filled with drugs and music and love and other things that come along with a life filled with both good and bad decisions, until Jamie and Charlie meet again, and then again, and then again. And Charlie is experimenting more and more with electricity. And I think what he's exactly doing, though, is unknown to Jamie, though they both feel this undeniable pull between the two of them, and we see that throughout the entire book. The book is written from Jamie's first-person perspective, as if he's already older and is looking back on his life, like all the way at the beginning when he meets Charlie Jacobs to when he's now older. I like this book. It was 4 to 5 stars, the writing is good, and the two main characters, Jamie and Charlie, are also really good and really interesting, and seriously, it's hard to know what to feel towards either of them sometimes because they're both very complex people. But the problem with this is that the other characters really suffer a lot. Some of Jamie's siblings and his parents are alright, but we just don't get enough of them. We don't spend nearly enough time with them. We don't get to know them. The older Jamie, looking back on his life, just goes from thing to thing to thing, and we skip years and years and years where tons of new things have happened and are summed up very quickly, which is a very strange thing for Stephen King, who usually loves to give as much detail as possible for all characters in all situations. But we skip over so much and skip through time so much that it's hard to feel a connection for anything happening or for anyone but Charlie and Jamie. And that's not to say I didn't enjoy reading this, because I did. I just have to compare it to other first-person perspective Stephen King books, recent ones like 11/22/63 and Joyland, two of the best books he's ever written in my opinion, and the first person in Revival just doesn't work nearly as well. But all of the concepts are really interesting and really well done. We had a look into electricity and other bits of science, that things that Charlie is interested in through the eyes of Jamie, witnessing Charlie's just absolute obsession over it, and everything just builds and builds and builds and gets crazier and crazier and crazier. Stephen King endings can be hit or miss, but this one is crazy in a good way. At least for me, in a very good way. The ending is pretty wow. Like, it's seriously good. I really like the ending a lot. Stephen King also alludes to other staples in the horror genre within this book, like a lot of H.P. Lovecraft specifically. This quote shows up not only at the beginning, but throughout the book. That which is not dead can eternal lie, and with strange eons even death may die. He combines this with the science of electricity, religion, rock and roll music, and kind of puts them all into many different themes that build throughout the book. So while this is not the best thing he's written recently, it's still good and more than worth reading. Jamie and Charlie are great, and it really leads somewhere interesting. It's not perfect, but I definitely suggest giving it a shot. I'm going to be completely honest in that this was probably the book that I was looking forward to the most in 2014, and it did sort of disappoint me a tiny bit just because the concept of it sounded so interesting when I was reading about it. But the actual book itself is not necessarily as good as I think it could have been, although, like I said, it is worth giving a shot, and I think a lot of people would like this. I feel like it could go either way. I could really like it or really not like it, so I definitely say go for it and see what you feel about it. And now, real quick, I'm going to show you who won the giveaway. Whoever wins will be getting this copy, this US copy of Revival. Very, very shiny. And in order to win, you would have had to subscribe to me and comment on the announcement video, and I'm going to do a random generator to see who wins. Alright, so my video is already loaded into this website. I'm just going to click randomly pick winner, and we'll see who wins. Alright, so the winner is Mary Sexton. Congratulations. She's actually been a pretty consistent commenter on my videos in the past, so throughout the time that I've been making videos, so that's pretty awesome. Congratulations again. I will be sending you a message as soon as this video goes up, letting you know that you won. Thank you everybody who participated, everybody who commented, and everybody who's always commented on my videos, everybody who's subscribed. You're all awesome. I'm really, really grateful to have you all here. I love having this channel, I love making videos for you, and I hope to keep doing it for a long time. So that's it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time with more.